Thank you, Sam. Good morning. Morning. A warm welcome to all of you on this very chilly day at the First Universalist Church of Yarmouth. My name is Debbie Woodbury, and I am the worship assistant. I am the assistant today and am on the worship council. I'm glad to be greeting you this morning, whether you are here in the sanctuary or joining us on Zoom. We know you come here for different reasons: to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truths, to question, to nurture your heart and soul, to explore new ideas, to find comfort, or perhaps to find the answers to some of life's big questions. Whoever you are and whatever your reason for being here, you are welcome. At First Universalist, our mission is to explore our faith, embrace this community, and engage the world as spiritual seekers. We take these words to heart each and every week. For those of you joining us with young children, nursery care is available during our service for babies and toddlers. Our nursery is located out this side door and down the hallway on the left. You will notice that you have a salmon-colored connections card in the pew in front of you. If you are new, filling out the card is a great way for us to know you'd like to stay in touch. You can drop it in the offering plate when it is passed later in our service. I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of announcements in the insert in your order of worship. One is a request for some assistance with our children's chapel during Gwen's maternity leave, which starts next week. During Gwen's leave, the RE committee is stepping up to lead children's chapel. And we could use one helper each week who would enjoy interacting with the children and assisting with crafts and cleanup. And there is no planning involved, you just need to show up. You can volunteer by speaking or emailing me, Debbie Woodbury, Sarah Karam, Jeanette Newton, or Kathy McKenna. You can also sign up using the link in channels or through Sign Up Genius which is our church volunteer link. I will also send out a few reminders on occasion if we don't get anyone. So a big thanks to those of you who have already signed up. Our mid-year meeting is coming up next Sunday, February 1st, after the service here in the sanctuary. In preparation for this, the board is hosting an information session today during coffee hour in the common room downstairs. If you have a question about the proposed bylaw changes, the budget, or the Building on Love campaign, or you just want to meet or hang out with our cool board members and church leaders, please come to the common room for a very short meeting after church today. On Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30 in the gathering room, after the snow is all gone, Reverend Hillary will be hosting Lectio Divina. Lectio Divina means divine reading in Latin and is an age-old spiritual practice to discover and seek deeper meaning in readings we hold sacred, be they scripture, poetry, literature, or lyrics. All are welcome to bring your coffee or tea and join Reverend Hillary as she leads us in this enlivening and centering spiritual practice. Be sure to read the announcements in your order of worship about dinner church, which is always a great time, and that will be held on February 13. Finally, the grief and loss support group that was supposed to meet today will be canceled because of the storm. However, there is an email address on the back of your order of worship where you can reach out to members of the Spiritual Care Council if you ever want to get in touch with any of them or need to talk. Following our service today, All are invited to join us for coffee hour, our time of friendship and fellowship downstairs in the gathering room. And now, I invite you to take a deep breath and to settle into this time together. Our music director, Sam Chandler, will lead us into worship.
Thank you, Sam. Good morning. How are you? Who could use a snow day? Who could use a tropical vacation? Who's just happy to be here now? Oh, that seems like the majority. Good, good. Me too. All of it. All of it. I'm Reverend Hillary. I serve as the minister here of our church that's built on unceded land that was once and still tended by Wabanaki people on the banks of a sacred and very frozen river, once and still called the Wescustigo. And it is with peace and friendship that I say, whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, whatever it is you have done or need to do, however you are as you arrive in this sanctuary, you are welcome here. And we are so glad that you too are here in peace and friendship with us right now. Today, my friends, we will keep at it, reflecting on the question of these times, which is how do we orient ourselves and anchor ourselves in the midst of so much tumult out there, so that we can be well and we can be of use in relieving the suffering of others and calming all those stormy seas. Our call to worship this morning is a poem that lifts up a verse of Martin Luther King Jr.'s that we pondered and felt last week. His line that only when it's dark enough can you see the stars. I share a poem by Annie Lightheart, great last name, called A Great Wild Goodness. One morning, I was looking out the window when a great wildness came over me. I wanted to be kind to everything. I promised not to kill the spider on the wall. In the cold, I took the dog for the long walk she'd been wanting. I fetched a trash can lid for another neighbor and did not, just then, add a single adjective to his name. I went back inside to the laundry and the dishes with a clean heart such as I have never had. Before dinner, the wild goodness bellowed, "Too tame, too tame." So I went outside with my coat and shouted poems up the alleys until my children came home with their small, warm hands. Then we ate bread in the kitchen, unafraid to be happy. The stars in wild darkness were right over our heads. Good morning, my great, wild, and occasionally untamed friends. Let's turn to our neighbors now, welcome them in, and ask them something that has brought them joy this week. And friends, will you rise now in body and spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door.
May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry about these windows. May the roar and rain go by faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This hearth, though all the world grow chill, will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms to view a shrine. With
May it be so. And will you join me in the words of our unison affirmation written in your order of service? We are united in seeking to increase love with justice and to constitute a free church open to all people, mindful of our past and drawing upon modern knowledge. We respond to the spiritual needs of persons and are devoted to the common good in community, nation, and world. We cherish the integrity of each individual and search for truth with reason as our guide. We respect differences of opinion and strive to be a democratic community. We are concerned with this world and open to the future. You may be seated, my friends. And Debbie will light our chalice. Thank you, Debbie.
All right. Are there any children or young people who would please be willing to come up here and help me light the chalice today? Yay.
Our chalice with peace and friendship.
Thank you, Debbie. So, Gwen, something's about to happen, huh? I have a feeling something's about to happen. Who wants some good news? Who wants to hear some good news and celebrate some good news today? Okay, one piece of good news. This past week, you celebrated an anniversary here, didn't you? Let's give you a mic. Thank you. What anniversary did you celebrate, Gwen?
10 years here at First U. Yeah.
We are so grateful for every single day of every single one of those 10 years that you've been here. And as I understand it, there's some other good news, which is that this is your last Sunday before you head out on maternity leave.
Yes.
The due date for your child is what?
February 2nd, so next Monday.
And she said she will let us know. And so Gwen is going to be out on maternity leave with her beloved family starting at the end of this week, and she'll be back in early May. So we are going to be loving you all along the way. And I was thinking, and I imagine many of you would agree, that we need to send you off with quite a bit of love today. Sound okay? Folks up for feeling some love? Oh yeah, oh yeah. So let's begin. Let's just take a breath. Let's just feel our feet on the ground. Feel our connection here in the room. Recognize how important Gwen has been in strengthening these connections we feel to one another. And I invite you to just think about someone you love. Could be a child, a friend, maybe it's an animal. Maybe it's someone out in the world who is doing work that just fills you with love. Just fill yourself with love right now. Really, really feel it. Think about someone who's just so easy for you to just love. And just feel it. Just feel it. Maybe imagine yourself giving them a big hug. And from that place of love, maybe just touch your heart, rub your chest. That pure love. Now I want you to feel that love moving through you. And think about our friend Gwen. And just offer this hand towards Gwen that's filled with this love. Imagine it as golden light. Imagine it as warm, as joy, as comfort, as protection. And Gwen, my friend, just take a breath and let that love in. Know that it's really real. And we'll be offering it to you all along. Now rub your hands together, my friends, with that love. And if you got a little left to spare, just let it out into the world to everybody else. Gwen, we love you so much. We're so excited. Kai, we're excited. Thinking about you too, buddy. And Arwen, of course. And please, be in touch always. Okay. And it's you and me now. Thank you, Mac. All right, friends, let's say our children's blessing, and we'll carry on. We are Unitarian, Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. And from this place of love, we now come to the time in our service that we set aside for quiet prayer and meditation. Following this moment, I'll ring a chime, and all will be welcome to come forward and light a candle for a joy, sorrow, or concern you hold today. But first, my friends, will you join me in taking a deep, refreshing breath in, a calming breath out, and enter into a sacred time of silence. In the midst of a whole lot of craziness out there, I am very joyful because I have made so many new clergy friends this week. More friends than I really know what to do with. And in doing so, I have learned so many new songs. And I'm hoping you will sing with me as our prayer today, a song that I learned from a new Quaker friend of mine. It doesn't use the word God, don't worry. It goes like this. I'll sing it once, and then we'll walk through it. It took all of us a beat to remember which word came at which time, but we'll get there. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. It's nice. If it doesn't jive with you, you don't have to sing it, but we're going to sing it. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. In love, we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. One more time. In desperation, we found freedom. In freedom, we found love. we found devotion. In devotion, Spirit found us. May it be so. And our friend Debbie will introduce our offering.
This week, the Faith and Action Council selected Maine Family Planning as our half-plate recipient. Maine Family Planning provides high-quality, affordable, and culturally relevant sexual and reproductive health care, working to ensure every Mainer, regardless of income, geography, or circumstance, has the resources and freedom to control their sexual and reproductive lives. Its 18 health centers across 12 counties serve nearly 30,000 Mainers each year. For many, especially in rural areas, Maine Family Planning is the only local health care provider. We hope you'll join the fight for reproductive justice. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. While we pass the offering plate to one another here in the sanctuary, those of you on Zoom are invited to make your offering by clicking the donate button in the order of worship or by dropping a check in the mail. Again, thank you for your gifts.
And will you rise in body and spirit and join in our song of thanksgiving? The short verses are in your order. Thank you all for your generosity. You may be seated, except for our children who are headed off to junior youth group and children's chapel. Thank you to our volunteers. Thank you, Mac. Yeah, Mac, you stand up too. Thank you, Ari Council volunteers. And come on down, everybody, as we sing you on your way. Have a wonderful class time. Go now. We already did it. It's been a week. It's so good to be with you. This is a balm for me, too. Thank you all for being here. Hearing that there's so many people on Zoom, it's just, it's nice to be together. I hope you feel it, too. Our reading today is from Ajahn Chah, who is a teacher in the Thai forest tradition of Buddhism. And this is just a short little excerpt from his book, A Still Forest Pool. He writes, "Try to be mindful and let things take their course. Then your mind will become still in any surroundings, like a still forest pool. All kinds of wonderful animals will come to drink at the pool, and you will clearly see the nature of things. You will see many strange and wonderful things come and go, but you will be still. This is the happiness of being awake." As some of you know, I kicked off 2026 at a Zen temple right smack dab in the middle of New York City. When I got back, I shared in channels the prayer that's said at the end of the day at this temple before everyone quietly goes to bed. Though this was not my first time hearing this prayer, I told you that it was a real zinger for me this round. And my friends, it is still with me, still zinging right along, which is probably a good thing. And from conversations I've had here this month, this prayer seems to have stayed with some of you too. Okay, good. Yikes. This prayer, which I'm about to recite again, is actually called a gatha, which is the Sanskrit word for verse. Gathas are understood as calls for us to return to this moment, kind of like ringing a dinner bell. But instead of dinner, we're just coming back to what's here right now, which sometimes is dinner, but is just right here, right now. Because it's said at the end of the day, this gatha is just called the evening gatha. But I find it calls me back to this, really any time of day. The evening gatha goes like this, and gathas are typically sung, they're incanted, so I'm going to do my best to give you a sense of how it's sung. It goes, "Let me respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes by, an opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Awaken, take heed. This night your days are diminished by one. Do not squander your life." A zinger. Overeducated Unitarian Universalist minister that I am, when something stays with me, it generally stays right here, Not here, not here, not here, just right here. So of course, as this gata has been reverberating between my ears, I have thought a lot about what it means to squander one's life. If I'm trying not to squander my life, can I still watch vapid television shows? Can I have tater tots as my vegetable for dinner? Can I read all 5 of the heated rivalry books? Hey now. And sure, the jury might be out on some of that. I think it's okay, everything in moderation. But you know, the other night, I was standing in my living room, completely still and silent on my phone. For I don't know how long. All I know is that when I came to, a pot on the stove was boiling over and water was all over the floor. The wood stove fire that I'd kindled had extinguished itself, and my 2 greyhounds, who are basically bald, were outside at the back door staring at me with a Shackletonian desperation in their eyes. Ah, I thought and felt, I have just been squandering my life. Awaken, 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 awaken. Turns out there is no need to overthink the evening gata. It is self-explanatory. In order not to squander your life, wake up, come to. Try to be mindful of what you're doing and not doing, thinking and not thinking, and stop being so distracted all the time. Because our actions matter. They are our only true belongings. I cannot escape, you cannot escape, we cannot escape the consequences of our actions. They form the ground of our lives. It's so obvious, right? Everything, the good, the bad, the utterly cruel, the mind-bogglingly brave, the lovingly kind, the completely oblivious, it is all created, sustained, or derailed by reactions, by how people react to fear, to hatred, to pain, to love, to care, to joy, to power. So often, we understand mindfulness, this practice of returning to the present moment, to be like this therapeutic thing, a way to clear our minds, let the clouds of our thoughts drift away and pause to take a deep, refreshing breath and find peace. And while yes, mindfulness can be and often is all that, mindfulness is not dissociative. It should not evacuate you from the suffering or joy that is actually at hand. Rather, it is about coming to and getting a grip on how you are reacting to what is at hand. It is a powerful practice of awareness, self-control, and I find often self-care. To awaken means to become aware of the ways you are reacting to any given situation and reflect for a beat on whether or not these actions are in line with your value system, your well-being, and/or the well-being of others. As Unitarian Universalists, we try to maintain faith in the often challenging principle that all beings have inherent worth and dignity, and all of us are interconnected in a vast web of life. Because of this tenet, I believe that when we can wake up and come to, we naturally awaken our own inherent worth and dignity, our own inherent goodness, and cannot help but act from that good place. In the words of Ajahn Chah, try to be mindful and let things take their course. Then your mind will become still in any surroundings like a still forest pool. All kinds of wonderful animals will come to drink at the pool, and you will see clearly the nature of things. We have a banner here that we bring to marches and parades and sometimes hang up on the balcony. Well, we got the camera there. I'm going to hang that up at some point this week. On it, we have the symbol of our church and a verse, a gata, if you will, from bell hooks. Anyone know what that verse is? Love is an action. Love is an action, written big across this banner. Bell Hooks wrote many books. And her most popular one is called All About Love. In it, she expounds upon this thesis that love is much more than a feeling. Love is an action. Bell Hooks' work was greatly influenced by a guy named Erich Fromm. Anyone ever heard of this guy? Yeah, kind of a big deal. Fromm was a 20th century psychoanalyst, philosopher, democratic socialist, and Holocaust survivor. He was a very prolific writer, and his best-known book is this one, The Art of Loving, which I have been working my way through these past months. It's not difficult reading, it's just that every single sentence says something. No squandering of words here. Fromm's main point in this book is right in the title. Love is an art. And like any form of art, to get good at it, you got to practice it. And as he says, the practice of any art has certain general requirements, regardless of whether we're dealing with the art of music or painting, carpentry, medicine, engineering, or the art of love. He pares these requirements down to 4 ingredients. Discipline. I'll never be good at anything, he writes, if I do not do it in a disciplined way. Anything I do only if I am in the mood may become a nice hobby, but I'll never become a master at that art. Patience, he says, is also required. If one is after quick results, one never learns an art. Concentration is another requirement, to not think of the next thing to be done while you're doing something right now. And then lastly, in order to practice and achieve mastery in any art, Erich Fromm, in the words of George Michael, states that we've got to have faith, a faith, a faith. The practice of the art of loving, writes Erich Fromm, requires the practice of faith. Whoever has love has faith. Whoever has little faith also has little love. What is faith? He asks. Faith is not wishful thinking. Faith is a conviction that is rooted in one's own experience, observation, and feeling. In other words, we find faith by way of awakening, of coming to and seeing, feeling, and experimenting with what happens when we pay attention to our compulsions, actually choose how we want to act, and then observe the results of our actions. A couple of personal examples. And off the top, I will just say, my faith is anchored in the conviction that love is more powerful than hate. Love connects, hate disconnects. Love is conscious, hate unconscious. Love is good for us, hate is bad for us. I observe my faith in action all the time when I walk down a street and smile and say hello to passers-by. It's as simple as that. Almost always, when I do this, without hesitation, they smile and say hi right back. And often, their posture changes when they do so. Their chest opens, their head lifts, as though they were suddenly zinged by that profound joy of feeling a connection. Another example. This past week, I stood in a line of clergy, shielding human beings as they tried to leave their job site without being abducted. As we stood firm, singing, a pickup drove by, and the driver rolled down his window and screamed a hateful obscenity at us. As he did, he lost control of the wheel, drove his vehicle into an icy curb, slammed on the brakes, and then peeled away. Love connects, hate disconnects. Love is conscious, hate is distracted. Love good, hate bad. Love is hard, though. Whether or not love is the anchor of your faith, Eric Fromm is right to say that no matter what, love requires faith. Faith is an indispensable quality of any significant friendship or love, he writes. For love requires us to have faith in the potential of others. To love, he writes, means to commit oneself without guarantee in the hope that our love will produce love in the loved person. Having faith, however, enables us to take this risk and readies us to accept pain and disappointment in return. So with all that to mindfully chew on as we sit by our still forest pool, we return again to this question about how we know if we're squandering our lives. And for me, as I accidentally keep cannonballing over and over into my still forest pool, it comes down to asking myself, how is my practice of love going? Throughout the week, like many of you, I know, I have been keeping vigil. I've been rallying, singing, visioning, and standing in support and protection and prayer for those under threat right now. I have witnessed some devastating hatred, cruelty, and fear like I've never seen before. Forms of suffering that would certainly lay waste to my faith in love were it not for all the disciplined, patient, concentrated, and faithful acts of love I have witnessed right alongside it. Fierce love, fierce love, fierce love. People, parents, neighbors, police, standing guard at school bus stops and gas stations, offering rides, doing grocery runs, learning legalese, devising plans on the fly to protect employees and students and parents. And along the way, people just being legit kind, vulnerable, and in productive, real relationships with each other. A wild, untamed goodness at work. Of course, this is all taking place because of the horrible hatred, cruelty, and fear swirling and acting out there. But that bad stuff is not all there is. Not by far. And because people are allowing themselves to feel more than hatred and fear in return, because people are remaining awake to their reactions, because people are staying as best they can, disciplined in the practice of love, a practice that makes space for grief, joy, creativity, and community, there is truly more and more and more love somewhere out there all the time. It just is. It's true. May it continue. May we keep the faith. May our love be a hunka-hunka, holy burning love that melts every ice-cold heart. Awaken, 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 my friends. Come to. Do not squander your life. Look up. The stars in wild darkness are right over our heads. Amen. Will you rise in body and spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 18, What Wondrous Love Is This?
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath the sorrow's ground, with to me gathered round, O my soul, friends to me gathered round, O my soul, to love and to all friends I will sing, to love and to all friends I will sing, to love and to all friends the pain and sorrow and thanks unto the end I will sing, with thanks unto the end I will sing.
Will you remain risen for our benediction? Thank you again for being here. It truly is a balm. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering, free of hate and the causes of hate, free of fear and the causes of fear, free of insecurity and the causes of insecurity, and filled to the brim with a loving kindness that will enable them to feel a profound joy that they want to feel forever, so everyone can get free. And will you join me in the words of our unison benediction, my friends, written in your order of worship? For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affection. For those who come to seek a path, may the way be found and the courage to take it step by step. Go in peace, stay warm, stay safe. The service begins when the service ends, my friends.